Hello everyone, welcome back to War Thunder with Red Baron YP. Today we are flying out a very long awaited aircraft to my collection that used to be like $400 on the Gaijin marketplace, but has since come down, and I was able to pick mine up for about $49.99 on the Gaijin marketplace a few days ago. So, um, yeah, it is the Richard Bong P38J Lightning, which is a battle rating 4.7 twin engine medium interceptor fighter of the American tech tree. It's has an in-game tech tree variant, uh, and uh, this one was an event vehicle, I believe, or a gift or whatever the heck you want to call it, a few years back, and it's incredibly rare to actually see flying around. Um, it's kind of like the I-301 that I covered a few months, year ago, whatever it might have been. Um, the red rarity. So, yeah, but like all P38 fighters, it climbs exceedingly well with its two engines. Gets an air spawn at around like 5,500 meters, or 5,500 feet, excuse me, not meters. Um, and so it can get up to bomber altitude to escort friendlies, like you see me attempting to do, catching up to these P8s and all that, uh, or to intercept enemy bombers, like will be happening shortly. So yeah, but it is a exceedingly rare aircraft to actually see, and I'm not sure how many people actually do fly it out on the regular. Um, Little history about Bong. He was born up in like Superior, Wisconsin, uh, and then he joined the war. He is America's #1 leading fighter ace, uh, and I think it still has yet to be beaten. I don't even think Robin Olds touched his record. I believe it was like 46 or 60 something, something like that. Let me just double check here real quick. 40. Uh, 40 kills. Excuse me. I'm not sure who I was thinking at 46. Um, but yeah, he is like the ace of American aces during World War II. So, he died in a experimental plane crash. Uh, so yeah, but right now we're just over the Lake Latiga map, and as I said, I am escorting our bombers to their targets over there on those Bay Islands. Um, and we will just have to see what comes our way. I see a lot of fighters off in the distance, and then I see this Stonier 217 uh, coming, and I didn't know if this was the bomber variant or the slightly lower BR, uh, like fighter twin engine heavy fighter variant with all the 20 mils and stuff. So I was like, I'm not gonna take any chances, so I'm gonna come down here, fire off a shot below, I think his flapper, one of his elevators or rudder off. Couldn't quite tell in that pass. Uh, Loop it up and around. Also a very maneuverable aircraft, by any stretch of the word, for an aircraft of this size. Dive in. I'm gonna try to get just below him so only the ventral gunner can have shots at me, and hopefully try not to risk the whole aircraft. I've been starting to do this more and more where I'll start above the aircraft, dive in at high speed, below them, and then come up behind them, and this is where I take a clip to my empennage and then proceed to just completely dismantle that man's airplane. Uh, he no longer has a set of working wings, and he is not going to be flight worthy. physically or legally at all. And I accidentally tabbed out there for a second, so if you're wondering why it just flipped to this all of a sudden, that's why. But yeah, I zoom out of there after booming in. As you can see, he's figured out what gravity is about right now, so I will be getting a kill popping up shortly once he slams into the snow right there. So that's my first kill of the game. E8s seem to have made it over to their target, and it doesn't seem like anyone's around where they are at the moment. There's some Bill 335s and a Spitfire, I believe, down low. And then I see this behemoth, the Bong and Voss BV-238 flying boat, flying battleship, which I'm going to stall loop over about up to his altitude. And then I'm going to kind of mirror him for a little while here, while I kind of pick back, speed up, get to correct altitude that I want to be at. You kind of want to, there's kind of a setup to how you should take out this thing, and you'll see why in just a little bit. But yeah, this aircraft is premium as well, so getting even one kill is great. Any more, and you're sitting pretty well in cash and research, at least in its rank. I believe it's a rank 4 aircraft, I believe. Battle rating 4.7. So you can see me just outside, keeping him in visual. Not that he's hard to keep visual on anyway, as big as he is. I mean, that thing is literally as big as a 2-story warehouse with wings would be. So I'm just up here, kind of keeping tabs on him. As you can see, climbing all the time. And then I start pulling into him. I want to level off and gain speed. So I'm going to have to outrun those cannons and heavy machine guns that he's armed with. I believe he's got 20 mils, 7.62 machine guns, and 13 millimeter or 15, one of those two, on turrets mounted on the wings. The wings are so big that they actually mounted turrets on the trailing edge of the wings with a tunnel that runs right in front of the flap mechanics to the fuselage. So you can actually kind of scoot in and out of those. That's how big this thing is. Most aircraft you cannot do that. Also, the wings are like giant fuel tanks, and I see him turning around here, and I wonder why he's turning. And then he disappears, and I'm like, that was strange. It took me a minute to realize that, oh, we're at the world map, or not world map, Jesus Christ, world edge of the map. And so I start turning around before the same thing happens to me, because as you can see, he just got royally screwed by Gaijin, because he now just spawned at a lower altitude than he was, and I still maintain my altitude. So I'm going to come above him and drop in soon, and you'll see all of the fire that comes off of this guy when I come down on him. Like, I mean, it's literally like AA from a battleship. I mean, it's a flying battleship, essentially. And it floats. So, it's great for amphibious operations. Take a good hit there. Keep getting hit. Tracers come flying by. Hit him a few times. Roll up and over around him. Fire some into his wings, set him on fire. And then send a bullet straight up through the empty fuselage, because as like a boat, it's got a lot of empty space, and the bullet struck the pilot in the back of the head, killing him, destroying the aircraft. And now my aircraft is royally messed up. Engine 2 took the brunt of that damage, so leaking coolant, fuel, I believe, it's leaking oil. There's oil all over the cowling and tail boom. And, yeah, basically I end up flying back to base and landing, because, well, things not very, very happy with what I just put it through, so I will try to keep the aircraft as happy with me as possible, because otherwise it might decide it wants to kill me at one point or get me killed at one point. Because I damaged P38. Uh, it's basically like flying a lead balloon. Like it's um, not very arrow worthy once it takes damage to its engines or really anywhere. Um, Although I have seen it fly pretty well with only one wing, so now we're gonna start slowing up here. We're gonna take a 90-degree final and do some S turns to bleed off the speed because this aircraft retains energy, uh, like a wheelbarrow full of bricks going down a hill. So it's a pain to slow down when you want it to slow down and you don't have much time to do it in. But I come in, slow down enough, dump gear, and landing flaps, and his P8 happens to be on fire because he was dogfighting a Piomirski, which is I believe it's a Finnish fighter in the Swedish Tech Tree Premium. So I make a perfect landing. Guy gives me a fire salute as I go under him. Uh, but he was one of the only bombers who made it home. The other P8 and the two B-25s got absolutely mauled. And I don't know if he was trying to shoot me there or what, but I'm gonna scoot out of the way of those. But yeah, so really that's the end of the game. I mean, I end up just taking off, flying for a few more minutes, and we lose to ground force tickets, unfortunately. So yeah, I will see you in the results, I guess. Alrighty. We are loading into the results screen. I got fourth place for the team, got a chest, uh, got a order, made quite a few thousand silver lions from that, even though I didn't do a whole lot except take out two bombers. And yeah, premium's nice. I've got nothing left to research for the American Tech Tree. I've finished it, so yeah, that was the one of the rarest P38s next to P38K in game. So if you've enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Reds out.